Hi everyone and welcome to the Warhammer podcast. We're your hosts Jack
and Dan.
And today we're going to be looking and talking about, can we fix the Warhammer website?
Somebody needs to fix it, Jack.
Someone, I mean, I can't code, but I'll learn just to fix this flaming website. But yes, it's something that we've been talking about for a while, off screen. And
it's been a bone of contention across the fandom for a while. The reason I think it's topical is GW recently reported significant sales growth right across the board.
Yeah.
Apart from one key area, which is the website. So with sales from Warhammer.com actually falling against a backdrop of increasing sales everywhere else. I think it's a fair question to ask. How do they fix it?
In this day and age where like everything is online, how is their online store shrunk?
So bad,
or kind of like, I don't know, maintained with an admin error. I don't know. It's just doesn't make sense.
And we also put the question out to you guys, to our community. Had an amazing response. Thank you. We had loads of comments, and we also ran a poll.
We did.
Stay tuned for that, I guess.
We'll talk through that and the stats on that and what everyone was kind of commenting, because we did ask what people's thoughts were, and it seemed to be like some of people were on the same side.
There's a lot of people on the same page, and there was some really cool ideas about how things they could introduce, but we'll come on to that, so bear with us.
Yes.
Speaking of comments, please do comment on this video, like, subscribe, share, all of that stuff to help the channel grow is really appreciated. It just helps build a bigger community, which is what we're all about.
Yeah, and we just like talking about Warhammer.
We blooming love it.
It's what we're here for.
Yeah.
So a bit of background, I guess, on this one. So GW have enjoyed its best ever half-year results.
I
think I was going to talk about. I was going to ask a little question on this one. They have seen growth year on year, haven't they?
They've seen growth year on year for about the past, I want to say, 4 or 5 years.
I want to say that as well. Now, there's a word that we're not going to use because I think YouTube doesn't like it, but it was to do with a certain virus that was happening at the time. So year on year, but this is like the best ever half year results.
Absolutely.
Sales were just under 300 million for 6 months, ending the 1st of December 2024.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise, that's a lot of money.
It's more than 50 million more than they made in the previous in the same 6 months of the year before. It's massive.
It's crazy. GW obviously divided sales into 4 key categories. The first one is licensing, so selling its IP, so like Space Marine 2, Secret Level, obviously the Amazon Web thing coming out with Henry Cavill.
I mean, that one, they reported it more than doubled. They should to 30 million.
Yes.
30 million pounds, and 28 million pounds of that is profit. That's the most profitable bit of GW at the moment.
Crazy.
But the other segments?
Yeah, absolutely. The trade, of course, so sales. So to indie game stores like obviously Traveling Man, Element Games, where we typically pick our stuff up from. Obviously their own retail, so they've got a global empire of Warhammer stores. I had a quick little look online, over 500 stores worldwide.
Yeah, it's big.
Crazy. And obviously, of course, online, like their flagship website, Warhammer.com, where everyone goes to get their stuff. Sales from licensing, trade, and retail are just
all up. I jumped the gun a bit there because I got excited about licensing. It's
massive. I was trying to let you talk about it because it is crazy. But do you want to go through that? Because I know you just
it did more than double from over 12 million to over 30 million, which is insane. And I think some of that has to be Space Marine 2, and some of it potentially them signing the Amazon deal. I guess I don't.
It's probably the role of them adding together to kind of all make up each other.
They're already talking about and some news articles about them looking for the next Space Marine 2, the next Amazon, so that they're already, because it makes so much profit, they're already looking to go further with that. But I mean, trade was
don't war remastered.
Yes, please. I mean, trade was up more than 21%, retail was up more than 11%. So the third party stores sold on their growth was almost twice what their own stores was, but online was down more than 4%, which
more than 4%. That's again for this day and age. Is crazy. Considering I feel like Element Games and such, like Traveling Man, they just seem to that's just where we go to shop. I'm not surprised that it's down, but at the same time, I kind of am. Because, it's just in this day and age, I just expect everyone's online sales to increase.
Yes, I mean globally, analysts reckon that sales are up somewhere, should be up in 2024. Online sales should have been up roughly about 10% across the board. Obviously, you get variations within your businesses, whatever. Yeah. But to actually fall when you're growing sales in all of your other segments and online sales are growing everywhere else, it's really bad.
Now, I was going to mention this later, but I thought it's probably worth mentioning it there now. For me, is Warhammer one of those things where you do just want to see it in person? Like, do you want to hold the box before you buy it? Because if you look online, the pictures are pretty decent, if I'm perfectly honest. Like the website,
it's one of the better things about the website. Yeah,
it's proper credit where it's true. Drew hit. I can't speak words. But yeah, so like again, like, do you want to see it? I mean, the paint scheme on the flip side, like seeing the paints and kind of seeing it in person and on a screen, is that easier to digest?
I think it depends on where you are in the hobby, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So maybe we'll come on to that in a little bit, but I think it depends on where you are in your hobby journey, and that's part of why the website's not doing a good job for a lot of people, I think.
Possibly. I think there's a lot of factors. I'm sorry to dive ahead again there.
No, it's a very good question.
Yeah, we're diving all over. But why does everyone else think it's like that? Obviously, we're going to get onto the poll and kind of what everyone else has commented, but before you listen to this part, pause the video, scroll down, let us know what you think, because I think the hobby, we've talked about it several times, the hobby is massive.
Yes.
There's lore, there's obviously Golden Demon people who just do painting.
Yeah, just painting,
Obviously, there's people who just play, and there's people who just build.
Yeah.
So what is everyone else's their own little section of the corner of the hobby? Why do you think the sales are down?
Yeah.
And are you buying it? Let us know. But getting on to the poll results, Dan, do you want to talk us through that?
Yes. I mean, we asked the community how GW could fix the website. Only 10% said it can be fixed. 12% said it's beyond saving. Yeah. And the vast majority of you, 78%, said they don't care because they buy from third-party vendors anyway. So they've just stopped using the site.
Where were you on that one, Dan?
I'm definitely in the latter section there. Yeah. I very rarely buy from GW.
I'm the same. Like, I put myself in that last category just because, again, like, we're knowledgeable on where we can get cheaper Warhammer.
It's basically,
we're happy to get it elsewhere. Supporting the local gaming store. We live quite close. We don't really have a local one. Our local one is in town. But then where there's in town, like, I've had really good support from people from, like, obviously it's not local, but Element Games. I went in there and they were a massive help.
Yeah.
Traveling Man's been a great help, and a great variety of stock for me.
Yeah, and we're blessed with a bunch of specialist gaming stores. We've got Different or Less. We've got Bay Games. We've got Tin Soldier. We've got the new one, Northern Alliance Games. We've within 5 miles of us, we've probably got 7 or 8 places we can buy Warhammer from, like in bricks and mortar stores. Yeah. So that's, we are quite lucky in that respect.
We are.
But going back to the website then, why is the website so bad? I mean, what are the key? I don't want to dwell too much on the negatives, but it's important to set the scene here about why people are not using this website.
Yeah. But obviously we had loads of comments, and it's quite funny because what we were thinking is kind of what a lot of people commented on our post about.
Yeah, it seems there's some themes there.
There's a collective thought. I think just the overall experience on the website is just bad. Like, the navigation for me is the one that really kills me. Like, I might have like an idea to be like, oh, I'm interested in some Tyranids. Let me go have a little look on there. And just getting to the place to shop Warhammer. If you land on in the main landing page, I think you have to scroll halfway down to get to the section to shop Warhammer.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, I wanted it up front. Maybe that's just because, again, there's so much on the Warhammer website.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to, when you've got such an array of products, it's always going to, the key to e-commerce, as I was always told, was the you need a very short path to basket. Yeah. So the fewest clicks
that's
possible.
The word. Yeah. Yeah. You need to have as less clicks as possible to get to it. But at the same time, I mean, we've talked about before, there's building, the lore, the books, the painting. There's just so much involved in it. Like, how do you think it? I think there's what they've got. There's definitely better ways of doing it. I just think it's a mess. Really.
The UX is bad. The navigation's bad. It feels like they carry less stock than some of the third parties. Sometimes there's more stuff out of stock on their websites than an Element Games or Traveling Man sometimes.
And obviously those ones where they do like those little special ones where it's like where it's like made to order or something. That. I swear when I bought my Locust Destroyers,
the Locust Lords,
they were like, okay, cool. Yeah, they're going to come between 2 to 20 weeks. It's like, hold on. It's like
it was half. I think it was worse. I think it was 26 weeks. I think it was half a year.
Yeah,
up to half a year. And somebody mentioned this in the comments, and apologise, I can't remember who it was, but I hadn't thought about this. But even when you order like a standard box from them, it takes longer to ship. Like if I order from a third-party gaming store that does this well, you'll get it in 2 or 3 days. GW, it can take a week plus, and it shouldn't.
Nah, because obviously they have a monopoly on Warhammer. They build it, make it, yada, yada. And obviously they sell to third parties to sell it on their behalf at a discount, whatever. But they don't have to. It's weird. Like, do they have to support us on their website to get sales?
I mean,
are people still always gonna buy from them?
I mean, I think they've got. I think we'll come on to that again as well. But I think there is. This shows that they've reached that turning point. If sales are declining against that backdrop we've already talked about, then people have obviously decided that this is just not worth the hassle. The website's not worth the hassle, and that is, or they can't find what they want and they go somewhere else, and that's a problem. I mean, the biggest
other issues as well, isn't there?
Yeah, the biggest one cited for not using the website was pricing. It's this is an interesting one because I can understand GW wants to position itself as and Warhammer as a premium product, but the reality is you can buy it elsewhere for less money. You can buy it through Amazon for less money. You can buy it through a third-party gaming store for less money. That's unusual to me. Normally, in my experience, if you go directly to the source, that's where you get a competitive price.
Yeah, absolutely, because they want to. They want people to play Warhammer, so the more people that play Warhammer, the more people are going to spend more money. But like, they just never do any sales.
It's no point in them saying, but we don't do sales and discounts, because you do, because the third-party gaming stores are able to sell it for less. So we know you can.
You're doing it just through somebody else. So like, are they like trying to like, is that like their game plan where like they sell to their shareholders like, no, we're premium. We never go on sale. But then they're like side hustle like, here's the other stores, here's a discount, you sell it on our behalf. Because they know they get more revenue elsewhere, like from the paints, or I don't know, like the website, the sales, the subscriptions, all that sort of jazz.
They make a lot of money from trade now. It's a really big part of their business. The other thing, as one viewer pointed out on pricing, like let's say if it costs 500 of whatever your currency is, say €500, £500, $500. If you can get a 20% to build a 2,000 point army, that is like so. Right, I've worked out my list. I need to buy all this. It's going to cost me $500. If I can save 20% on that, that's $100. That's a lot of money. And
loads of money.
Even if you're a complete addict, that means which this guy was, because he immediately said, and that's 20% towards my next army. But
you're honest. I love it.
So and a lot of other people said if they're paying that full price, they'd rather go and support the bricks and mortar Warhammer store. Because they like the people that work there, like the ones that work in hours in town and the one in the Metro Centre. Here we've got two near us. They're really nice people.
They are. I had a really good experience when I was buying some paint. They recommended the app, which was fantastic. The app on that is probably the best thing I've ever seen from Games Workshop.
The painting app's really good.
It's just you can build like your paint set. They give recommendations on how to get like certain like highlights done. I think it's just called Citadel. Honestly, I really recommend it if you're struggling to work out like. I mean, obviously, I get really confused with the color wheel.
Me too.
So this is really good to start off, but also once you're more experienced, you can build your own list of paints. And it's really good to. How many times do you build and paint something, and then you don't come back to it for ages? You look at your model and you're like, oh, I'm going to build more of them and paint more of them, and you forget which paints you've used.
Yes.
Happens to everyone. Everyone does it. So I use a Citadel app just to track which paints I've used.
Nice.
So when I come back to it, I'm like, oh, past Jack was brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you, past Jack. I've got the paint recipe now.
So that's really good. But I think just overall,
speaking of paint though, I mean, like you were talking off camera, and I think you've put a section here about the Paint Warhammer section that's on the actual painting section on the website is not good, is it?
Please just go on there. Just tell me I'm wrong. Right? Just go to the warm.com and go to the paint section. There is so much white space between it all. And like I was thinking about this. When I went on that section, there was two sections I thought I was going to see first. Either get started, like I'm new, what paints do I buy first?
Right, yeah, good.
When you're getting a Warhammer, you don't know what to buy. You
Yeah.
typically buy that little box, don't you, where it's like the Space Marine kit or the
Yes,
the
it's like a
Necron
Space
kit.
Marine and it used to be Space Marine and Necrons. It's Space
Yeah.
Marine and a Tyranny now, isn't it?
Yeah.
They give you the basic paints to do it.
I was expecting something like that. But
Yeah.
You don't. You get this random page with a random video, yada yada. Or I was expecting Golden Demon, because why wouldn't you want to show how good models can look?
Yeah.
Now with the Golden Demon side of things, I did think that they might be like, oh, we don't want to put people off to be like, this is the level that we expect you to be at. But then I was like, oh, well, why don't they just have a section to be like, oh, tabletop ready, advanced, and all sorts of stuff? Because
tabletop ready, intermediate, advanced, or whatever.
Yeah, because on the Citadel app, they have exactly that.
Yeah.
And that is beautiful. They literally outline, hey, if you're looking for just a bog standard color scheme, this is what you need. And it's like 4 paints per army. And it's like, oh, you've made my job life so much easier.
Yeah.
And then further down, they've got, advanced paints. And look, they do put a lot of paints in there, but it's nice for them just to separate it.
Yeah.
So you're not
it's not overwhelming. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
That's, and I think the other thing with it, for me, the paint section on the Warhammer website is like, how can you have such a rich and broadened range of paints, and an amazing back catalogue of images and painted models, and it still feels empty? There's so much white space. It feels like
lost.
Like
there was so many times I was scrolling down, I thought I hit the bottom of the page. And I was like, all right, cool. And then I looked on the right, and this was the scroll bar, and it was like this big. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll get a finger workout today. What's going on?
Past the white space.
Just condense it down. Like, I know they're trying to show off some of the artwork that they've got on the website and such, but it's just separated by such a white space. It's like, what's the point?
And this was also mentioned in some of the comments that we got, but there is too much white space, full stop, on the websites on all sections.
Absolutely.
But you also mentioned trying to find the search function, really.
I was just like, because obviously we're talking about like people were commenting so much about like a better search function, yada. So I was like, oh, I'll just go on and I'll search. So went on the website and I searched just Necrons. Just thought I was curious. And like the first 4 products that came up were just like out of stock. I was like, well, stop showing me them.
Yeah.
Like,
it's very simple filter to just say, well, show them the ones that are in stock first.
Yeah, just get rid of those ones. But then also it was showing me everything that had, obviously in their background, whenever they've put something on the store, they obviously must attach a keyword.
Yeah.
Exactly. So every little thing that had keyword of Necrons came up, and that was books. That was obviously models, of course.
Right.
That was starter kits, paint sets. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't mind you showing me all this, but can I get like some order?
Better filters or something.
Some type of order. Like they could have done it by, here's all the models for Necrons. Here's all the paints that you could use for Necrons. Here's all the box sets that you could buy.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, whatever. I was like, right, screw Necrons. Let's search Tyranids. So I'd search Tyranids and I scrolled down. There's a Space Marine there. I was like, I don't want to see a Space Marine. There's blue boy there. And I was like, get out of here.
Somebody mentioned this in the comments. They're a big heresy player, and you can filter between traitor and loyalist. And whichever way they'd done it, some of the other side's units are still coming up in that mix, which is just bad.
It's just
that's really basic fundamental stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. And now they had like a refresh of the website like last year, so didn't they? Where like it was like the whole debacle about where they put loads of new pictures and such on the website, and like loads of them had like the wrong images and such, or like some just blank images and such.
There was just some didn't have pictures. That
was just funny. That was just, come on, roll it out better, basically.
Yeah, definitely. This is the issue really, is it came out, I think it was October last year, and which is not that long ago. It's like 4 months or something, but they've had time to fix some of these issues, and they've just kind of decided to, the community, as always, has not been shy in telling them what they would like to see from the website, and they haven't done any of it.
That's not like us, is it, guys? Come on, like, we're full of positivity in this, aren't we?
But I mean, as you said, like, do you want? Some people want to see it more in person, but what type of person shops at Warhammer?
So that's it. So like, because obviously we're talking about the website and such. Sales are down, but obviously in product in selling such as it is up. For me, it's a weird one because I typically see like the demographic is like 20s and 30-year-olds who are buying it. Now those people are like, for me, are more tech savvy. They're more online. So are they seeing the website and having a more intelligent look and be like, oh well, I know I can get this cheaper elsewhere. So is the demographic just the young audience with their parents going to
it's more that Mamhammer network, isn't it? Where the Mams are going on and buying it direct from Warhammer.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or maybe just like returning players. Older returning players, maybe.
The ones who are like obviously again who like to support the Warhammer and maybe they don't have access to a store. So that's probably why that's down. But obviously we had a friend Max that we met.
Yes.
Who was new to the hobby, and he obviously was unaware that you can get Warhammer cheap elsewhere.
Yes.
So he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm just going to go to the Warhammer store, have a little look on there." And we were like, we immediately were like, "Hold on, this cowboy." Element games, you know, if you want to shop online, go here. If you want to go to Traveling Man, there's one in the middle of town, the city centre. There's loads of all these other places to go. And then immediately he was like, "Oh, great!" And then obviously we took him to Ardhammer recently as well. You dropped a bit of a bomb on that one there, didn't he?
He spent I mean, he got an absolute bargain, but he basically bought an entire he collects Death Guard and Chaos Knights, and he bought almost an entire Death Guard army. I reckon about 3,000 points, and a couple of big Chaos Knights. He was very happy.
He's very happy.
But his bank balance probably wasn't. Ardhammer for those. It's like it's for UK viewers. It's like a car boot sale. For Americans, what would you call it? Like a yard sale?
Yeah, like a yard sale, garage sale.
But it's just for tabletop stuff. It's brilliant.
It's great. And it's kind of where we like to kind of get our Warhammer from, because again, we know Warhammer's expensive, so just getting it cheap elsewhere is just
this is it. I mean,
what we strive for. What I strive for, at least, anyways.
I think it feels like that journey is becoming a lot quicker because of the price hikes. Like Warhammer's very expensive from Warhammer. If you buy direct from Warhammer, it's the most expensive way to buy it. So you start off that way, but very quickly your gaming group will say to you, don't do that.
Get it. I mean, we haven't even talked about 3D prints.
True.
Like how many people just get a 3D print of the model instead?
And we've had a few people saying that, that they don't even buy from third parties anymore. Just why, if you can print a Catan for $3, why would you buy one for $100?
Absolutely. We've done that before. But again, let us know. Do you guys shop in store, website? Do you go to your local gaming store or a third party? Let us know, because it seems to be more heavily on the side of you don't shop at Warhammer anymore.
There's a lot of that, but I think we had to cover those negatives about the whys and wherefores for the sale, because the sales are falling. That's a fact. It's not just us being salty about the website.
Just stats.
The stats show the website's not doing very well. So the really interesting bit for me is what the community said, and obviously our ideas as well. But how can GW fix it, or how can we fix it for GW?
My God, there's got to be one down. I need to say it first,
Go on then.
This one it continues to drive me nuts. Why does it keep asking what language I want the website in?
Oh God, this is so annoying.
I accept the cookies every single time. I have everything turned on my PC to allow the location or whatever. It should know I'm in the UK. Like stop
asking me.
Well,
the weird thing is every time you go on, if you look, it asks you to select your language, but when you go down to the whichever country you're in, that box is already checked from the last time you're there. But you just have to like reconfirm for some reason.
You don't do that. For me, I've got to click the X button at the top.
Oh yeah, you got to close it. That's right.
It's so frustrating. Like, am I being pedantic?
No, I mean that
maybe
that is fundamentally bad user interface and user experience. It's just that's just bad.
It's just them failing to remember. Like, well, that one drives.
So that's I mean, I guess we started on a little bit of a negative there as well. But that one, we're not alone. Like loads of you in the comments said this really grinds your gears. I think it's a simple fix. GW just fix it.
Absolutely.
This second one was one that I hadn't considered, but I think this is a genius idea, right? Because it gets GW around that we don't do discounts thing. And this is a loyalty scheme, like a point scheme and a reward scheme for. Some of the ideas how to use those points was for discounts. Okay, they're probably not going to do that. But maybe they could offer unique minis like they do through Warhammer Plus. So maybe you could spend your reward points on unique minis you could only get with the reward points. That would be nice.
That would be good. Like a loyalty scheme. It's nice, isn't it?
I mean, even if they offered, somebody said like sent you like tiered badges or medals or whatever, like physical, unique coins and things like that. Maybe as people do like collecting the coins. It wouldn't sway it for me. I don't know about you.
No,
but some people like them.
Wouldn't do it for me. But again, it's just that element of like you're getting something back.
Yes.
You're supporting them. You're helping them. And such. I think that's what's the main thing.
The one I really loved was you could spend your reward points on early access to pre-orders. Now that would be tasty.
I can hear people screaming right now at home, being like, "No!" Like, I refuse to give Warhammer my
All the
my
scalpers would be crying about it because
well, that's it. So I think that's probably where this comment kind of really came from, isn't it? Like they want to prevent scalpers as much as possible.
But if you can prevent scalping and reward your loyal customers for spending money, all of a sudden I think that becomes quite attractive.
It does.
That would incentivize me to spend more on the website.
I guess it all becomes a point then of, okay, well, where do they set that bar at?
Yeah.
Because like if you do pre-orders, does that automatically go to your next kind of tier ranking? So if you know, because then the scalpers be like, okay, cool, well, I just need to hit this one bar. I'm going to buy all these, and then now I've hit the bar forever because every time there's a new release, I'm going to scalp.
Yes.
Scalpers be scalping.
Yes. I think you'd have to spend your crew points and then spend them because obviously you don't. Well, some of us want every box that comes out, but generally speaking, you picking and choosing. Like with your Krieg, that was one that you you didn't spend too much money on Warhammer for a couple of months because you knew you wanted the Krieg box.
Saving up,
So that would be the one you spent your reward points on. So I would say it'd have to be specific to a box rather than a tier.
Yeah.
Because like you said, otherwise the scalper just spends 500 quid and then they've got it that access forever.
Yeah.
So I think it has to, and there is some management to any loyalty type of scheme like that, but it's largely can largely be automated.
Yeah.
So there's no reason why they couldn't do that.
I mean, even just building the benefits that they've got here now, like obviously there's a Warhammer 40k subscription that you can get.
Warhammer Plus subscription.
Why don't, if you're a part of that scheme, you automatically get extra
reward points.
or you're getting early access. Because you're part of the subscription, you have early access to these pre-orders, something like that. We're not endorsing these, so don't come at us in the comments.
We're chucking these ideas out,
seeing what sticks. But there's just, I think there's a market for something there. But I guess that what we're talking about there, I guess drills back to what we were talking about before. Where does Warhammer need to do that? Because their sales, I mean, alone, 300 million again the last 6 months. Since December, do they need to? They probably don't.
I mean, there is an argument to say, like, from an investor's perspective, investors always want more money. They want better returns on their investment, and that's what the whole game is about for them.
Yeah.
But if you are growing sales so substantially ahead of your forecasts, they're probably at the moment not caring about the website.
Yeah.
At some point, we will go through that economic cycle where there will be a downturn, probably due to a recession or something, when people cut back on essential, non-essentials, and at that point they will be pointing fingers at the website, saying, "How have your website sales dropped?" And that becomes a difficult conversation.
Where it comes to the bottom line, it's like, hold on, okay, now this is impacting us.
At the moment, they've got a lot of goodwill with those investors because they keep giving them loads of money in dividends. So the investors are like, if they're shedding any tears at the website, you can just grab some of those $100 notes and dry them up, So there's when you've got that much goodwill, that it's less of an issue.
Absolutely.
But if the tide turns, then it will become a big problem.
That's true.
And the reality is, it just should be a better experience. I mean, one of the things that this generated was a massive just outpouring of disgruntledness, wasn't it, from our community, the people that engaged with us and left us comments. There's an awful lot of people that are really pissed off that the website doesn't work, that would spend money if it did.
I just like the idea of going on there and looking at the Golden Demon, even there's some of the community posts that we've not really talked about, finding out their balance suite.
Warhammer community is a great website.
It's just like just replicate it, just make it easy for me to, because obviously all the data slates and such for the balance slates all in one place. Love it. Don't overcomplicate it. Keep them there, date them nicely. Happy days.
And what else can they do? I mean, you talked about searching and filters. I mean, I'm not a website expert, like an armchair expert here saying, you need to improve these things. But that to me just feels like it should be better.
Just like some presets to it. Again, just like get rid of the stuff that's already out of stock. Or again, just categorize it. I wouldn't mind leaving anything on there, because of course they want to sell stuff, and of course they want to promote stuff that they do sell, even though it's out of stock. That's fine.
Yes.
But just basically when, again, if you look at Element Games, I think they do it perfectly. They separate it by HQ HQ characters, fast attack, heavy support, troops.
You can find stuff easier,
Exactly, just makes it easier. But Warhammer's just like, oh, you want Necrons? Blah.
Here's all the Necrons.
Everything that they've got on Necrons, and it's just messy. I think
it is.
So a better structure would be better on that part.
Good. And somebody also mentioned bringing back the wish list function, which I think is a great point.
When did they remove that? That
was when the new website
Yeah.
launched. Yeah, so the old website had, and what really annoyed people at the time was if you had a wish list built on the old website, it didn't port across, so you just lost everything that you'd been saving on there, which is
good job.
Yeah, but even though they can't bring that back in terms of bringing back those old wish lists, bringing back the function, I think would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. I was going to mention something as well because you know when like you had like email me when it's in stock.
Yeah,
I just feel like I never get that email.
Yeah,
and the thing is, right, they probably do email you, but you get so much other jank in your mailbox, like from other promotional events. You just tune out of it. You
do. There's a bit of that, and I think again the third-party gaming stores are better at this, and that's irritating.
Yeah.
And beyond that, even if you're just looking, like not searching their own website, if you Google search a unit that you want to buy, like say you want to buy some Tyranid gargoyles, right?
Sure.
And the Warhammer website will very rarely come up on the first screen of, it's not even on the first screen for searches. It's all of the independents that are on there because they have better optimization than Warhammer.com.
They do.
And this is a multi-billion-pound FTSE 100 company that is being outmaneuvered on online sales by local gaming stores that are a fraction of its size.
Yeah,
and that is ridiculous.
It shouldn't be happening. Yeah, but at the same time, I don't know. Like, are we being too pedantic?
I don't think so. I think, I mean, something else that they said, I really like this suggestion. I don't know if I would like you to give me your thoughts on this, but
go ahead.
An AI assistant on the web store to kind of help you get, make recommendations and stuff, I guess, would that work?
I think that would be really good. Now, the reason why I like that, folks, we mentioned a few things there, like as you mentioned, obviously this would really help the newbies to into the hobby.
Yeah.
Obviously, it would help them build an army as well in the basket and have a section. One of the things that I thought would be really good for this, because again, think about you're back new to the hobby and you go on the website.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're looking at. You don't know what you're looking at. You don't know what you're looking for. Those sort of questions get answered by the people in the store.
Yeah.
So having that AI assistant to kind of help run you down what the units are, what they do. I mean, actually, I don't even know. Someone let me know in the comments. I'll go have a look after this. But if you're buying a unit, does it tell you that you can only play 3 of them?
No.
So like anyone new to the hobby who's going to be spending loads of money at one time, if they buy more for the 4, I don't know, Tesseract belts or whatever, maybe they're super rich and they buy that many, and they realize they can't field that many, you're gonna be disappointed. So something like just an AI builder that helps build an army for you. Like, hey, you need at least one warlord. Who do you want to be to lead your army? And here's the selection that you pick from. You pick that one, and then it's like, oh, this guy's really good at shooting. Why don't you have some other units to buff and support that unit? Here's some suggestions. You pick that up, and it's like, oh, you're lacking some melee, focus. We recommend attaching some of these units to, and it kind of walks you through the list and stuff.
Like they say, it's exactly what the guys in the store would do. And that would be really useful. I'm just thinking as well off the top of my head, if that would be useful for the collecting and painting side of things as well. Yeah. Like if you had something like, right, I've painted some Tyranid termagants that I got from Combat Patrol. What should I paint next? And it's like, right, if you're looking for a next challenge, then why don't you do gargoyles at a slight step up from that because you've got the wings to do and stuff. Yeah. But it's not like a massive jump to a Norn emissary or something like that.
And then to add on top of that, again, you could be seeing like people who are, again, going back to the 4 cornerstones of the hobby where we've got the builders and the painters. Why isn't there like a comment section on each of the units to like rate how hard it is to build, how hard it is to paint? Because again, you might just have those guys who are, I just want to paint the unit.
We just crashed, Necron players have crashed the website writing comments about how bad Tomb Blades are.
Exactly. Inflated ones as well. Absolutely. We'll go on there and be like, this is awful. But then we can go on there and be like, oh, here's some tips on how to build them. And then it could be like, you want to paint this unit? Right, here's what you build, and then here's before you glue it all together.
Oh yeah,
so
sub-assembly. So
it's like it teaches you how to sub-assemble it. And again, you can have the comments, you can have like a detailed, outline of how to do it.
Yeah, or what about links to, because they have a back catalogue of videos of how to paint these units, don't they? Well, a link to one of those would be nice.
Just so again, promote their YouTube channel and stuff like that. It makes sense.
Make it more of a value add experience. Yeah, and then you can justify charging full whack.
Yeah, because then you make make those customers sticky.
Yeah.
So you're keeping them. You're being like, all right, well, I'm in so many pots now. I'm going to kind of stay in
but
here.
you feel looked after. It's about it goes back to that goodwill we talked about before. You instead of burning it, you're building it.
Yeah, and it builds like good community as well. There's just so many better. A better website will just build a better community.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
I think that one little segment we've just talked about is the one that would do the most good for the website personally.
Yeah. I fully agree.
We've mentioned a couple of little things in there, probably don't compare to what we've just talked about there now.
I think there's somebody mentioned a couple of people actually bringing back Forge World kits as plastic, and then it could be web store only product still, like as it exists. But they got we've just done a video recently about how much of Forge World has gone. Yeah. And there's a lot of opportunities to restore some of those models. Again, we're talking about more of those painters and collectors. They don't have to be models for that Tomb Sentinel or Tombs that they made for Necrons is a stunning model, but you can't run it in the games. But a lot of people might just like to own it, because it's nice.
The background piece would be lovely for it. You know what I mean?
And I think, as you mentioned right at the beginning, the home landing and homepage just needs to be better.
It's just there's so much going on. Like you go on the landing page and there's just along the top there's everything but what I want.
Yeah.
And like you scroll down and halfway down the page is shop warmer 40k.
Yeah.
And it's just there's so much stuff going on. There's so much artwork and there's so much white space. It's just a collectively pile of poo.
It is
pile of poo is how I see it.
And just as an aside, I did a little bit of research on looking at what it cost them, and in its so we just had the half year results, which told us about these online sales being down.
Sure.
In the same half year results last year, so that came out like in January 24. It said that it announced that it had spent almost $5 million on its, or £5 million on its website. Then it was about $6 million, and that was 6 months before it launched.
So if you think about it, they spent all that money, they've made the change, and then in the next 6 months or sales have went down by 4%.
In the next year, sales have gone down.
That should have increased.
Yes.
If anything, making a better website to help increase the sales, unless they were doing it for something else. But
it's clearly been a very, very challenging project for them. They're not very good at IT.
Yeah.
And it just feels like they need somebody to come in and just fix it for them.
Someone, fresh pair of eyes. Be like, look, I see what you've got. I'm gonna ignore it. Here's something that's better. It's.
I mean, what about you personally? Do you still use it?
I'm the same as you. I do not. I mean, I do for those little special models. Like, again, I think I bought the Guardsman box from there, the Kriegsman. That's only because Elmer Games was also already sold out. It was unavailable. I had a little look elsewhere and I wasn't too sure. It was almost like the panic kind of buy from Games Workshop, because if I knew my local store like Beer Games or Elmer Games or whatever was going to have them, I probably wouldn't have put my pre-order in from Games Workshop. Probably would have waited to then securely get it cheap elsewhere. But
it's a little bit of a lottery with the and no disrespect to them, but with the smaller independent game stores, because sometimes GW promises them say 5 boxes and then turns around and says you're getting 2. So if you were the 4th person or the 5th person to pre-order that, then you're not going to get it.
We've seen that happen before.
They
had to like send out a couple of apologies on Facebook. Again, we don't blame them independent stores.
No.
It's fully the responsibility of Games Workshop to supply what they offer. And if obviously that's what the website's used to sell, and if you don't get it, well, it makes them look bad, but it's actually Games Workshop.
If it's something that's like, I mean, I suppose in the technical terms, it's all something that's a nice to have because it's a hobby. But if it's something that is like an absolute priority for you, like the Krieg box, then you do go and get it from GW because you know you're as close to guaranteed to getting it as you can be. So I can understand that. And I think the same for me is I just don't. I think I might have bought the Pariah Nexus cards off them because I couldn't find them anywhere else at the time. But it's very rare I'll go on there because partly because the UX is so bad, but as we talked about, it's just it's so much quicker, easier, and cheaper to go to another website like Element or Traveling Man or Goblin Gaming, all of those places.
I was almost worried when it was like first coming out to be like, right, am I going to find it on the website? Okay. Like, I think I did go on there like when it got first pre-ordered, where I just went.
The Krieg box.
I went on Google and I typed in Krieg, and it took me to like, it was like a link that was like, Imperial Guards. I went on the Imperial Guard page, wasn't there. I was like, hold on. I was like, looked at the filters. I was like, stuff this. Went back to the homepage, and it was luckily on the homepage, so I could just click it because it was brand new. But when I
they have like a
God,
new or pre-order section or something like that.
Exactly. On the filters, there was a pre-order section / new release section. It was under there, but not under the normal Imperial Guard list. So I was like, so frustrating. But I got it anyways, which is good.
I mean, it is, but you've got to wonder: did other people just not be able to find it there and go and buy it somewhere else?
Yeah. Or again, if it was that mad rush, like mad panic. Doing that, I would have possibly missed out if it was going to start within like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
which does happen. I mean, that Necron Infinite and the Divine, that hardback special edition book, that was lovely. Gone within within like
matter of minutes.
Yeah,
seconds even.
So good.
Yeah.
But what about you? In terms of, can Games Workshop turn this around?
I mean, this is the thing: is we've only had one. This is the first set of results where the online sales have been down. So we don't know yet whether it's a blip or an anomaly or if it's the start of a trend.
Yeah.
So it might be in the next set of results that it's gone back up again.
Sure.
But we just don't know.
Yeah.
But they are a very conservative company. They're very old-fashioned in some respects, and they seem to they have a history of struggling with IT. So, I mean, they can turn it around, but it's difficult. You don't want to point fingers as such, but if you're spending that multi-million pounds with a web development company, that company usually knows its shit. Like it knows how to build a website. Yeah. You know, they're probably a top tier web development agency.
Yeah.
So that means the disconnect must be from the project management, in my opinion, from inside GW.
I don't know. I mean, comparing this to the animation industry, and like you look at things like Marvel, everyone's like, hold on, like, you know, look at She-Hulk, for example, from Marvel's. That was bad. It flopped. Yeah. That was because people say the script, whatever, but if
the
you
writing
look at
stank,
but if you look at the animation quality and such, people are like, well, hold on, that animation. If you look back at like the Hulk from when the Hulk first came out
years ago,
that looks so much better than what this does, and it's not because of the studio or in this case the website designers. It's more of the leadership and the pressures and the time scales that they get given is what make a bad website bad animation. That's something to bear in mind. I really want to get that one out there, because I feel like people point blame at the maker, but really it's like, okay, well, what time restraints did they have?
I mean, this website dragged on for years. I think they went through a couple of agencies. The rumors are certainly that. If correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm sure that they ended up literally writing them off at one stage. And I think it has to be the fact that they're not giving the web company the right guidance to build a website.
Yeah.
Or the web development agency comes and says, well, this is the way we do it, and GW says, oh, we don't want it done that way.
Yeah. And they were probably one of those ones where they push back, like, no, that's not going to work. And GW were like, I'm going to pay to make it work. We'll go elsewhere, and then it's just ruined. But
I mean,
that's the same thing for me. I think yes, they could turn it around, but does it need a full refresh of the website again? Maybe,
there is no way, unless online sales continue to drop, there is no way they will. I think what they will be looking at is maybe some of the tweaks that we have and the community at large has suggested there. Because there's some easy wins in terms of better filtering, search functionality, sorting that bloody homepage out so I don't have to select my country every time I go on. There's some quick wins there that can make it better. And I think if they've got any sense, I honestly think they would look at some of those other things like a reward scheme or an AI assistant would be brilliant.
The AI assistant is a big shout. I think, because that's, I mean, if you go on Google now, Google's implemented AI into search thing, and it's really good.
AI's got to a point now where it can really add value to e-commerce operations. I think.
So that's going to be the next big step. Next big step for me.
What they will not do is, because they never do this, is they will never publicly admit they've done something wrong, and it would be an admission to their investors that they wasted all those millions on another shit website. So they ain't going to do that.
They don't need to. I think the sales and the stats
and the sales from all the other elements are kind of doing well enough to make this be less of an issue.
It's like a brush over. I'd be like, that looks semi.
Don't worry about this.
Look at this. Woo, 12%.
You know, they might have. I don't know if they do this already, but like you can go into a shop now, and if the shop doesn't have it, they have a screen and you can go and order it and get it delivered to the shop or you. And I wonder if that goes on online sales or on the store sales, because if online is struggling, it would be, and those sales go on the store. You just take them sales off the store and put them on online, don't you?
That's
and then you say we've grown our sales again.
Yeah.
So that would, I hope they don't do that. That'll be a bit naughty.
It would.
But I mean, I've enjoyed this discussion. I think it's a real bone of contention across the community. Nobody's massively a fan of this website.
No.
Nobody stood up and said there's nothing wrong with this particularly.
Exactly. Yeah. And I hope it hasn't come across too negative, because it is one of those topics where it's like it's borderline negative, but at the same time it's more like, well, look, it's just here's the stats.
It's all valid criticism.
And it's good to talk about these little things that are in the hobby, because I mean we love all things Warhammer, and this is Warhammer related. And
there's plenty of suggestions there about how to improve it, which is the what it's really all about. Is what we do. We all of us, I think, as much as we joke about Warhammer fans liking to have a moan or whatever, I think it's because we're quite an intelligent, articulate community by default. So if something's not right, we expect it to get fixed.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't get fixed, then we do get a bit salty, and I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
That's a reasonable position.
And at the same time, I mean, we invest a lot of time, money, into it. So I think like we are a part of this hobby. We have a say in what is allowed and what isn't. Yeah. And it's good to kind of we're in for the long run. And if this website's in it for the long run, we want it to be good.
Yeah, I mean that's my final thoughts. Is that there's if Warhammer wants to be perceived as being a high quality gaming tabletop experience, high quality retail experience, then there's a massive disconnect between their perception of their website and its actual user experience, and that's what they need to fix.
Yeah, I agree.
Or they just start knocking it out at 30% off, and we'll all buy from them instead of Element Games. But they ain't going to do that.
And then they would put a lot of them out of stock. But they definitely wouldn't do that. Wouldn't do that. But
good.
Really
what about you?
That's it. I think, honestly, mate, I think we've kind of covered all the stuff I want to talk about.
If you've watched any of our unit reviews, we put the names of the contributors on screen, so we're going to do that now. There's a lot of you, so bear with us. But really, really appreciated. We both really appreciated how much engagement we've got on this. Hundreds of you voted on the poll, hundreds of comments, and really constructive stuff a lot of the time as well, wasn't it?
It was, a lot of good stuff. It was a lot of people giving their thoughts, and again, not being negative. It was like, I would love to see this, I would love to do that kind of thing. So
if GW took a focus group out of some of the people that were on our comments sections and worked with them on to get ideas on how to improve the website, all of this will be solved within a matter of months. Because you're a bunch of good people. And on that note, I think I think that's we'll wrap this one up.
I think we might have to sit here and wait for about 5 minutes whilst all the names go up. And
Yes.
So you've committed to.
I know. So I've now got to spend all day putting them together in a document for you. Yeah.
Should we just like to have the music start playing slowly and the names. And we'll just sit here as it goes on.
It's just us two getting out of our seats, leaving. And,
the names continue.
Still going.
I love it. Well, we'll see how many there are.
It's going to be like one of those movies from the late 90s, early 2000s where the credits go on for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
There's like 3 different songs during the credits.
And everyone's at home looking for their name. Like, where is it? Where is it? Is it there?
Yeah.
Wait and find out.
Good. Hopefully we've left enough. Could you tell we were filling there? I thought,
smooth.
It was very.
It was good from us.
Yeah. Good. Well, thank you very much if you stuck with us right the way to the end past the credit scene. Thank you very much. We've got a bunch of other videos on some of these other topics that are well worth a look. So go and please check out the back catalogue. But otherwise, thank you, and we'll be back soon with another video.
Spot on. Thank you so much.